I thought background is needed. Yes, background is needed. How are you? I'm like, no, we can't be having all this whoop lock going on in the back. We need
Well,
nice.
I've got a
Where
plain
we
background.
going, we need nice. Hey, it works. Here, take.
How you doing, ma?
How are you?
I'm all right. How you
It's
doing?
been a week. It's been a week. We've had
Yeah,
a better,
yeah.
had better, we push forward.
A true story.
How are
True
you?
story. I'm all right. I'm all right. Have a headache. It's right over here. Literally right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Processing. There's a lot of heavy energy. Even for me, I was like, I'm not gonna be around, familiar spaces. I'm just gonna like go
mm,
out, do something that's like not regular that I do every day,
yeah, right.
just to regenerate the energy. So it's just been one
Yeah.
of those days or weeks.
Yeah. I also got to
So
just go out and, have a bit of a break away from the familiar. I went to a ceramics classes. Yeah,
mm,
it was the first Thursday.
yeah,
So there were these ceramics and you could paint them. So I can't
that's
wait to go get it
exciting.
back. I know, right? I can't wait to get it back. So it's baking wherever it is, and yeah, I'll show you when I get it. It was pretty fun. Yeah,
Exciting.
it was good. It
Yeah,
was good. Yeah. In
that's
fact, it made me want to
good.
paint again. It's been a while since I've painted anything. I was like, no, I want to paint again. Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know getting into that space again and getting back in touch with that is also
Mm.
that whole process, and I love that. And
Yeah.
the fact that you went ahead and did it, like from the external, because you know what your process is.
That's
And
true.
and I found that's okay. But another thing too, sometimes what I found is like, okay, fine, I'm sitting on this. Okay, fine, it needs to like move. And then it's become stagnant because as I am air, like I've got double air, everything. So everything's needs to be like flowing and moving. So if I get stuck, I see other things in my experience getting like stuck. So I know that I need to be producing and getting stuff out. So that's how I kind of like have to move through life, and helping whatever needs to come out, come through and be produced and out there, and at least give me some wriggle room. Let's say that. So, but I understand that whole thing, that on your own time and on your own process. And I find that that's liberating in some ways, right?
True. It is.
That you get to do that.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
It actually is. Because
Yeah.
like I would have anxiety over being able to produce as much as I can.
Mm,
Like
mm,
there was
mm,
also that, like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, or
mm,
and that was another thing. Like I think also because maybe I also just took it for granted because I would get paid for my art or anything that I would do in
yeah.
terms of art.
Yeah.
I that's how I started off by getting paid. Like my
Mm-hmm.
first e- professional experience with art, I got
Mm-hmm.
paid for it,
Yeah.
and it was a theater production. I had
Yeah.
never been on a professional stage before.
Oh.
I had I had gone to one audition and it was at school, and it
Mm-hmm.
was also so random because I was the
Yeah.
only science student in the drama
Mm.
play.
Destined. Yeah.
It, it, it was like, okay, wait, what
Aligned.
had happened? And it just kept going. And I
Yeah.
don't think I had a gig where I was not getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was when I started creating on my own that I
Mm.
started realizing that, hmm, you know,
Mm.
there's a whole other side of this whole thing. It's
Yeah.
one thing where you're participating in someone else's creation. I mean, that on its
Yeah.
own is also artistic expression, but now when you start creating on your own, it
Yeah.
becomes different. It's like, okay, it's not just the incentive anymore. It's
Mm.
now it becomes also just about like, what are you saying? What are you
Yeah.
saying? like, oh,
Yeah.
what is it supposed to say, or what is the story,
Yeah.
and now that weight is on you because now you're the
Yeah.
creator,
Yeah.
like that weight is
Right.
on you and you're a
I
creator, and
feel that.
and I think because of living in capitalist world,
Mm,
and also in a position where, because now when you use art as your form of sustenance, it becomes really tricky, hey, and I d- I don't want to get to a point where I am like, yes, it could be, yes, it could be a career. Like, you could make art into a career, but
right.
unfortunately, the environment that we are in, it's not a very stable or lucrative one.
Right.
And
Mm,
it's so sad when you see legends, creatives who are known worldwide, and then when they pass on, there's GoFundMe accounts that are opened so that we can bury them with dignity.
dude.
Like, I am, I recognize that I am blessed. In fact, I'm
Mm,
fortunate.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to not be in a position where I look at my art and I think to myself, this this needs to feed me.
Yeah.
This needs to feed me. This needs to
That
make
that yeah.
that this I need
That
to pay my rent. I feel like, and that
that's
kills.
the shit that
Kills.
got me like, what the hell is going on here?
Mm,
Who's getting all the money? Because we can't have this work.
yeah.
Everyone sees that it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and it's valuable. It doesn't equate, right? That's why it was like, okay, fine. Sure, it's out and stuff like that's why we had that conversation that we had last week too. It's
Mm,
like it doesn't match, dude.
mm,
Let's
mm.
find out where are the missing pieces.
You
And the
know,
fact that you just that whole thing with people getting GoFundMe's to get buried. Where's the safety net for creators?
who's
What
making the
happened to
money?
that?
You
Who's
know,
who's
I
right?
watched there's a Netflix documentary on Milli Vanilli. They were you know
Oh
them, girl, you know
yeah,
it's true.
twins. Yeah.
Like,
And the
we
meme,
know the
I'll tell you about the meme
scandal,
after. Hold on, I'll tell
right?
you about the meme later. Come on with it.
Like, we know about the scandal, but
Sorry.
we don't know what truly happened. And that documentary opened my eyes, and
Really,
you have to see it. You have to watch it. You have to watch
for
the
me,
documentary.
I'll
I
watch the
won't
documentary now, but
I
the
won't spoil it
meme
for
just
you.
said everything. So it was just like, wow, wow, they're pissed.
It was an eye opener. It was
Hold on, right?
crazy. It was absolutely insane. And also, just to think, not that these guys were not performers. Those two were performers because they did go out on stage and tear the
And
floor up,
performed.
right?
They tore up, right?
But
Yeah. So it's
and
like legends. They're legends in their time.
you
But
know,
then they
and
were
but
like right now it's like a
also
one hit wonder type of group.
and
And there
also
was
people
just two of them.
hated them so much because that they found out that they were lip syncing. And I mean, you're gonna watch the documentary and you're really gonna get the whole gist of it. You're gonna
Right, right.
it's cringe. You know what? It made me so
Yeah.
angry. At the same time, I was like, ah, man, how
Yeah.
how
Sorry about that. How? Mhm.
like
It's
how
like
does it
legends in their
happen?
time. Oh, okay, found it.
You
Hold
know,
on.
and but just watch the
Hold on.
documentary and we're gonna come back and talk
Okay,
about it.
for me it was real. It was yeah. We'll come back talk about it. I'll share the meme now. Um, I don't know if you can see it. Hold on.
Many vanilla watching people get
I was like,
pioneers.
whoa, pioneers, dude,
These
pioneers. And
are
do you see how angry they are?
pioneers,
Do you see how angry they
right?
like pissed? They are pissed.
Like honestly, after watching that documentary, that meme hit differently. It hits
Yeah,
so differently. And it
yeah,
makes me so sad, but at the same time, it makes me so happy that we were able to get to see and hear their side of the story because yeah,
yeah.
it was crazy.
Because they were popping. Yeah, there's things like this. Yeah, who picks who's worth it?
And
You
also,
see what I mean? The value, it
yeah,
still goes, it goes in the whole industry. The whole industry. It's like, okay, how do you win here when
and
there's all
also,
these gatekeepers and you need to pay your way in order to get even? It's like, how are you paying? First of all, I know how they do it in the corporate world. They be doing it all types of ways, which I'm not willing, you know what I mean? And then in the art field or in the creative field, how do they get ahead,
mm, mm,
right? Is it
mm,
by your what's it called, your integrity and your commitment to the job and
your
your
look,
attending all the loyalty to a specific house, right?
yeah,
And your connections,
yeah,
it's a whole bunch of things that one is like little by little dissecting.
you
So
know,
yeah, so that
and
that you see it's coming out.
you
Mhm.
see it, yeah, like with Milli Vanilli, everybody found out that they were lip singing, and so what happened to the guys who were actually singing? They had the talent. Like,
Yeah.
why couldn't they be the faces? Was it because they didn't have the looks? Was that the
No,
problem? Was
yeah. Or maybe they pissed some executive off
but no, but this is the
and then
thing.
they got cut.
But that's the thing. You can't come to me and say, "Hey, um, let's make a song." And
Mm,
we make the song and you pay me for the song, like whatever
right.
amount we agree on, and you pay me for the song. And then you go get someone else to be the performer of that song. Like, say that's
Mm.
their song. Like, it comes back to
Wow.
intellectual property because that's
Yeah.
basically what happened with Milli Vanilli. It
Yeah.
was that
Because
type of
even if they pay for it,
situation.
Beyonce does the same. She doesn't write all her songs like most of
But
everybody.
that's what I'm
You know what I mean?
saying. Like, why were they then vilified? Because everybody is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody does it.
Right.
There are songwriters who write these songs, but they don't perform them, and someone else
Who take
performs
a
these
break?
things.
Right.
You
They're
know,
like, oh, I
so
can write, so let me write a few songs and
you
sell them and
know,
stuff like that while I'm
right?
on break.
I, I think with their situation, it was because more of that it went further than just the song being written. It went to the point where now someone else is singing the song and then they look like they're performing the song.
They
Like
did
I can
what?
yeah, they someone will go into studio and sing that song and then they would pretend that they were the ones singing. And this is the
All out
thing,
fake.
but this is the thing.
Fugazi shit.
But the problem here is that it's not like they made the plan. No, this was the
Mhm.
producer who basically was like, okay, listen, let's
Ah.
make some music, guys. He
Mhm.
goes and gets someone to go sing a song, write a song and sing a song, and then brings it to these guys and says, don't worry, I don't want you guys to sing. I just want you guys to perform and pretend as if you are singing this song. Yes,
So what
ma'am.
about the audience? Now you're lying to your audience. Do you see what I mean? This is deep.
Like this,
Why
it
would
comes
you
down.
lie about who you are
You know what?
and
Go
what
watch
you
the
do for
documentary. Go watch
money?
the
For money.
documentary,
Ima,
and
yes,
we'll talk
I'll
about
sing
it.
here corner and then
Go
Zobuya.
and
So Kulumagash.
yes, and we'll talk
Because
about it.
cool.
But I
Awesome.
think I
So
think we were talking. We were gonna talk
we
about
wanna do the nakedness part.
as for the
Um
nakedness part.
I know, right? I just like slid in there,
Wow.
make it seem like it's like, no, it's just the nakedness thing. But
I
no, we
think let's
like
call it a body.
the
Let's call it the
body,
human
body and
body.
the
Yeah.
body and nakedness too. For me, it's also about not just like naked,
Mm,
physically naked, but
mm,
naked in like your vulnerability. And
yeah.
especially us creators and how we
Mm,
we always like bring our soul out here and then we never know if it's gonna be cut into little ribbons or smashed into little smithereens. We always brave to get out
Always,
here,
always,
right?
and always ready. Ooh, always. Like, gosh, as you're talking, I was just thinking about auditions. People don't talk about how traumatizing auditions are.
Yeah,
Like, auditions are traumatizing, guys. Like,
yeah,
yes, they are necessary, but getting rejected, like over and over again, like going intentionally to an audition knowing that there might be a possibility of rejection,
yeah,
like going into an art studio or a gallery
yeah.
and asking for them to exhibit your art and waiting for
Right,
rejection, like
waiting for
going
it.
to studio executives with your film and like I have this
Uh,
and you know
thank you
rejection,
for coming in,
you
but
know like yo guys, we do with a lot of rejection as creatives,
a lot,
hey.
not even just there, like everywhere, right? But then
Yeah,
in the art, yeah, as you said, it's like the auditions when you have to go in there after
yeah,
practicing for weeks for this part that is like, in your mind is designed for you.
like
They need you in this film, this
you can see it.
theater,
You
right,
can
right?
see
They
it,
need you in this
yeah.
drama episode. And then yeah, the whole thing, that whole jumping over that rejection part. And also I think it's mental practice, being okay that we've been put through things where they say, oh, rejection is a bad thing, rejection is a bad thing. I mean, it's like one of my friends was like, oh, it's just like a muscle, Brandon. He was like, it's just
Exactly.
like a muscle, you just have to like make sure that you kind of like get thick skin for it, that you're okay
Mm,
with things not working out and failing and just move on to the next. Not that you're being cold-hearted or whatever.
yeah.
It's just like, yo, am I about to like drown in here or what? If it's you or me, then it's me type of
Right.
attitude.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting out like alive. But yeah, that whole rejection thing,
And it takes
muscle
a toll
practice,
on our bodies, hey.
it does. It
I
does.
think for performers more so because as a performer you have to do it over and over and over and over again before you even get to the audition venue. Like at that
Yeah.
point, like mentally and physically, you're getting yourself into that. And like it takes a lot, hey. Like even when you do get the part and you
Mm.
have to go into it now, you are in the rehearsal process of that
You
too,
get the whole script.
you
You
get
get
the
the
whole
whole
script.
script after,
You need to
right?
know your lines, you need to know everybody's lines, you need to know everybody's cues, you need to know everything. You
Yeah.
need to know
Yeah.
the production like the palm of your hand, you know,
Be
and
the
that's
whole
your body.
character. Mm-hmm.
That's body. That's body doing the
Yeah.
work. That's body.
Yeah.
Like I see actors who have to adapt for roles, like lose weight in a matter of
Mm-mm.
months, like two, three
Right.
months, gain that weight back because you have another role, lose some more
Mm,
weight. Like,
mm, mm,
yeah, our
mm.
bodies go through a lot as
That trauma, the
creatives,
trauma, yeah. But hey, the resilience of the body,
you
we could
know?
see that part of it, right?
Yeah.
Um, but the whole transition between those different roles,
Mm, mm.
what's going on in the mind, I don't know. But hey, just observing that whole process is just like, whoo, right?
It's
But I
it's
think art
crazy.
can help. No, art can
Yeah.
help, especially in a sense that when you process your emotions through creating and bringing out something more beautiful, even dark. I mean, there's
Mm,
nothing dark. It's just like a process of emotions, either on a canvas, on the stage.
yeah.
Because with each character, right, as you said, like you embody that character, and within that character, there's something that comes through to share with everyone, right?
Mm.
And then with the creative piece, I'd see it in a way where with your paints and stuff, you create something. With your photography, you take pictures that you see through your vision and you produce that. And you can process whatever you need to process through that. There's still a positive, even though we're going through that up and down thing, right?
That's true.
Yeah, it's
That's
still a positive creative process, I believe.
I think it's actually a positive, it can be a positive way to go through certain things or certain emotions or
Mm,
experience certain emotions. Like for example, I think you'll relate as a painter or
mm,
someone who works with your hands, because there's a point where I'm sure you're cramping and like I don't want to do this no
mm,
more.
mm.
Like
Yeah, or you're feeling stressed, like it's too much, and then I have to stand up and walk off. Mhm.
and like these people
Yeah.
who make sculptures, who make like
Mhm.
their hands get
Mhm.
calluses, they
Sorry
like
about that.
it's the same. I think it's just the same throughout for all of us. No
Mm,
matter what medium you're using in your art, you get those calluses. Like for example, it could be if you are a performer, your calluses could be physically like in your feet because you dance all the time, or it could be mentally, where um
mm.
from the rejection, and
Right.
you know as in for a musician, your callous could be the fact that every time you need to take care of the voice, you don't drink,
Mhm.
you don't do drugs because this
Mhm.
is your instrument and you also
Yeah.
need to practice. So that
Yeah.
also, puts a strain on it, but also at the same time, it makes it stronger. I think
Right.
that was the point that I was going into in terms of the rejection that our bodies feel, or
Mm,
when we go through auditions and you get rejected, you go to
mm,
an arts gallery and they reject you, you go to a studio
yeah.
and they reject you. When you are looking into the light,
Mm,
that experience makes it easier for you to go through the next one. And
yeah.
I know it's not easy because sometimes we like to dwell on, oh, I hate this, it sucks. How dare they reject me? I was good. I thought I was good,
I
but
practiced. I put all my
you
energy in that.
know,
I
you know,
noticed, and for me, what the hell?
like I mean, it's there's some people. Oh gosh, these are the meanest people
Mm,
ever who will
mm, mm.
sit there and like you just three words into your monologue and they'll be like,
Uh, no,
okay, thank you. Next.
serious? Are you serious right now?
There's people who you'll walk into the rehearsal, you will walk into the audition venue and just maybe you're not what they're looking for from your
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
They'll be like, okay, no, thank you. You're not what we're looking for. And the thing is, again, it's hard sometimes to not take it personally, but you also need to remember that
Mm,
actually it's not even about you, this
right,
person
right.
has a vision in their head, in their mind. They
Mm,
have
mm,
this
mm,
vision that they want to pull out, that they want to
mm,
fulfill, and you may not
mm.
be, part of the aesthetic or whatever vision it is that they're
Okay,
trying to portray.
okay.
So
Mm,
and such things that that take a toll on your body when you don't know
mm.
that, or when you're not conscious of that no, maybe this is not the time, or maybe this is
Yeah.
not the role, or maybe I don't suit the look for the character,
Mhm.
like it's moments when when you're not conscious of that, that's when then body begins to suffer,
Right.
because now you are continuously practicing and rehearsing, but the outcomes that you're looking for are not coming into fruition. So
Mm,
then some of us tend to then look into substances for comfort, you know,
mm,
and
mm. Crutches.
yeah, and that was some. that was part of the reason why we remember at the beginning when we were talking about what are the topics that we could come through, and I
Mm-hmm.
when we mentioned bodies, this was part of what I wanted to talk about,
Yeah.
because drug and alcoholism culture is a thing in our
Yeah.
industry. It's
Yeah.
mm,
To cope.
unfortunately, it's a stereotype. It's a stereotype that
Yeah.
they like if you're an artist, you are
Mm.
definitely on some type of drug, or you drink
On
yourself
something
to soothe yourself. You know what?
to sleep,
You know
you
what?
drink yourself to oblivion.
There's some type of substance that you use to,
Yeah.
deal with whatever it is that you're going through. But
Wow.
that's what I was thinking in
Yeah.
terms of body, because sometimes these things that
Sorry, it's
we
not funny, but I
I
just got
know.
it like sorry.
It's okay.
You
Ah,
might-
yeah, yeah. It's about to get real. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just thinking of the culture and everything. It's like, yeah,
Right?
man, yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I'll let you finish before I disturb you again. Ooh,
Like,
eh.
yeah. Yeah. That's honestly, that is, and you can't
Hold on,
mention
let me.
body
Ima,
and not
oh,
mention
Ima.
those. Yeah. There you go. Pull yourself together, young lady.
Dude, thank you. I'm all back. Okay, focus.
Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. I didn't need that little. Okay, yes, the industry
Yeah.
and
Wait,
drug and
say what you
alcohol.
wanted to say before you lose it. Just say it. What are you going to say?
No, I had a vision and I'm like, oh God, that is so true. In my head, it was playing back. And then I had a vision of like, oh yeah. And I was like looking back, I'm like, mm, mm. And I'm thinking most like it's artists like the mindset that you need to have in order to even be to like tap into that creative spark and create these amazing things. It's like people that are have the gift or maybe who can get in touch with the spiritual essence to be able to bring all of this out. There's some type of addiction or trauma that comes with it. It's like that's part of the gift, and you need to be processing that at all times. And then I was like, I turned it back on myself, and I'm like, dude. But I'm like, okay, we tackled all of these. All right, so we kind of halfway done. So it was all these things. It's like, ooh. And then I'm looking at the collective, and it's like, oh man, how does one resolve like all in like that one little? And then I'm just like, and then I started laughing because it is just too much to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, laughter is the best medicine. That's what they say, right?
yeah.
Best medicine. That's what they say.
That's where we are. It's not like we can run away, go back, or deny it,
You
right?
know,
Because
you
it's
know,
already there. It is what it is.
yeah. And that's just
It's this
life,
deal.
Life is just full of
Mm,
trauma. Life is just full of
yeah,
there's so much that goes on, even apart just from being a
yeah,
creative, life in general. Like we just
yeah.
came out of the pandemic. Yes, it's been like 2 years, but
Is it?
still, you can see what's going on with the world. We haven't really recovered, you know,
No.
at all. We haven't recovered at all, and this is a collective. Now, imagine being a part, that one part of the collective. What are you going
Mm,
through, on your own?
mm, mm.
And some because we as creators, we live in our heads lots.
Yeah.
Everything happens here. Everything happens here.
You see
You know,
everything, yeah.
it's all here. You know, even before it
Yeah.
becomes physical, it all begins
Yeah.
here. And the one thing that I see that is common between artists and the people who may not be performing or taking part in any type of art, but consume art. We have that shared trauma
Mm.
that we are both dealing with, and we are using art as a form of comfort or as a form of trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
understand these these emotions or what's happening with us internally and
Internally, yeah.
externally. And you know, it our bodies reflect when we have stress. Like your body changes when you are stressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And currently living in such stressful times,
Yeah.
I am in a way I am sort of I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I don't see that many creatives talking about this time that we are in. Like it's scary because art used to be that platform where we would be able to talk about things that are happening
Yeah.
currently in our lives,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
even
Versatile things too,
no,
not just like art and like life, the soul, and yeah, all these things.
and it makes me afraid because of what art has turned into. It has turned into more of how can I get, I don't know how do I put it? It's turned into how can I, because I don't want to say clouds. That's not, I don't want to say clouds, but it's turned into a, it's, yes, this is what I wanted to say. It's turned into an it's all about me situation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm going through this on my own. You would never understand. Or I'm special more than
Mm.
anyone here. I've got the
Yeah.
most views. I've got the most likes. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it's. I, it scares me because then people can't be authentic in
Mm.
their
Mm.
portrayal or their expression of what is
Mm.
going on with
Yeah.
them currently, because now there's also the situation of if you don't think the way I think,
Mm. Oh,
you
yeah.
will get
You
canceled.
hit a nerve.
You're gonna get canceled.
Mm.
So it's scary, and I feel like
Yeah.
that type of thinking or type of trauma or shared experience
Yeah.
is contributing to our illness, the disease that we have as people, as a
Mm.
collective,
Mm.
and not just
How does
only
one even recover from all,
spiritually, you
right?
know, not just only spiritually, but physically.
Mm.
Like people are suffering
Mm.
physically from things that can be resolved, you know, things that have
What's
solutions.
that? You got a puppy over there? Huh?
No, I felt
You got a
something
puppy over there,
call on
Lee?
me. No,
I
no, I felt something call on me. I was like,
was like,
okay,
what's that? Like,
what's
please
that?
wait, wait. Have you seen that? This, hold on, we'll go back. Have you
What's
seen
that?
that? And the mom comes in there like a ninja and grabs the babies. Have you
What?
seen that
What?
one? It's
No.
in your clip. The dad is like having an interview, serious, suit and
Oh
tie,
yes,
everything. And then
yes.
the mom
Yeah.
pops in there after the kids go la 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 la.
And this
And
one
then
in
she
his
comes in
little
there.
walkout, she pulls him up. And then she comes back and closes the door.
Ninja mom.
I remember that.
So
Like that was so wholesome. That was so
that's so
wholesome,
cool.
man.
It's
And
like
you
to
know
see
what?
what moms do.
And also though, but that whole moment was so wholesome and it was so real. And those were
It's
some of the
so
things
real.
that I can look back on COVID and say
Yeah.
that for a second during that
Mm,
experience where we were in lockdown and we didn't
right.
know what was happening, we
Yeah.
all were real with how we felt.
Yeah.
We were
Right.
also honest with how we felt, that we were all scared and we were
Yeah.
all unsure. And we were all
Yeah.
able to basically get to see the person, the real
Exactly.
person behind
Right.
the
Because we
news
always really
anchor
checked
who
out.
was on TV. You know what? Yeah. Like everybody
Yeah.
became
You like
real
check out
at
and
that
you're just like
moment.
zombie. Right.
Everybody
But
was
then
so
COVID
real
kind of
at that
like,
moment. Yeah.
like,
and and
yo,
and you
come
saw
back.
and you right and you saw the artistic
Yeah.
expression that took place
Yeah.
during that time, and that's when
Mm.
TikTok actually became a big deal. In fact, social media
The
became
thing.
a bigger
Yeah.
deal, because people were able to
Right.
express what was going
Mm.
on in their lives at that
Yeah.
time, and it was real and it was honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like after that people tried to replicate that.
Uh-uh. It's no longer, the time has passed.
Right.
You catch the wave and then that's it.
No, they tried to replicate the feeling. They tried
Mhm.
to replicate the
The
the real
trauma that we experienced at that time and having
and
to like transition from one stage to the next.
and
Yeah, because you
because
have to
we
really
didn't.
be in it, like when you're saying there's that moment and those feelings and that actual feeling because you're
Right?
going through it right then and
Yeah.
there.
And
Yeah.
because there wasn't like a real conclusion for everyone, we
No.
just transitioned, and people are still sort of holding on to that, trying
Mhm.
to,
Mm.
hang on.
Where to cling to, where
Yeah,
are we cling, what's the next, where are we clinging, like that, the sense of direction, like what you just said
yeah,
right now is like
yeah.
where's this going, where are we going, what's next.
You
It's like we don't
know,
know, we're hoping or looking for a leader.
you know, and
Why?
then and then
For
that's
me it's like why.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then that's when some of these things that we are seeing now, the culture of BBL, the culture
Yeah.
of one, because
What's
people,
beautiful,
yes, that's
right?
and that's what people are holding on to. That's what's
Yeah.
beautiful, the culture of surgery, because you know what, we see all these people that we were like, wow,
Yeah.
because TikTok was there during the
They're
pandemic
getting
and we
so
could
much
see people's
attention. They're
lives,
getting money. They're getting all
right?
these material gains externally
Yeah. And this is what
or
they are
whatever.
doing. So it might work for me. And people keep replicating that. And
Yeah,
that's just,
the
now
false body.
here they are now
Mm.
with these false bodies, but also just continuing to
Not to be no, no. Okay, let's get this right. Hey, do what you want with your body,
exactly.
right?
And you know what? Again, we are all I assume we are
It's
all
just a
adults.
matter of
You can do
dissecting,
whatever you do
dissecting.
whatever you want. And again,
Right. It's your
it's
vessel.
also right, and also the truth of the matter is that you go through that because there is something that you are not happy with, that you are trying to fix or trying to enhance. That's also just the truth of it. And that is also the truth of what we also do as creatives, the whole replicating things and wanting the clout is because there is something missing, or there is something that we want to
Mm.
enhance, you know. So, I mean, I
Right.
can,
Exactly.
and again, we are not saying that
Yeah.
surgery or BBL,
Nothing wrong with surgery
there's
and
nothing
pain
wrong
for
with
your
that.
body,
No, no,
nothing
but
wrong with
it's
that. No,
also a form of expression.
of
Again,
course, it's an artistic experience,
yes, it's an artistic
right?
experience. And again, we are talking about body. And if we are being honest about body, it is
Right.
this is the modern culture. This
Mm.
surgery is our modern culture, and it plays
Yeah.
such a role in even the art that we consume
Mm,
and how we consume it. It plays such a role in even how our bodies are perceived.
mm,
So,
mm.
and that's where my point comes in terms
Yeah.
of that
Yeah. The
whole,
only, yeah.
that
The
whole,
if yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. You if you finish off, if you want to finish off, because the
No, no,
only
no, no.
thing for me it was that it kind of like takes off in the wrong direction for me is when it influences healthy individuals to adjust their body in order to, that it's gonna all of a sudden change how you think about yourself mentally. I mean,
And
that's
that's
the only time when it influenced, like, even kids underage and stuff like that, like the youth and whatnot. That's the only time that I'm kind of like, let's just protect the kids. But other than that, do what you want with your
and
body.
that's the power of art, because someone
Yeah.
can look at cosmetic surgery and say that it is artistic. And I
Mm.
can see how it can be perceived as artistic because you
Yeah.
are creating, you are
Mm.
able to change one form into another form. That is,
Yes.
it's it's part of creativity, because the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I think we also have this notion of looking at things from, is it bad or is it good,
Yeah.
when we could be looking at what are the pros and cons of this situation, and
Right.
how, like, what are the benefits, and what are the risks, and am I
Mm.
willing to take those risks? Because
Right.
someone who goes through cosmetic surgery, for them, that's a risk that they're willing to take, and it makes them happy. It
Yeah.
works if it works for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
me, standing on the outside, I'd be like, oh, I could never, you know.
Right.
But but again, it comes back to, why do I perceive it as that? Do my
Yeah.
cons weigh out the pros of going
Yes.
through that?
Yes. Yes.
So, and I think again, that's sort of what also creates certain misunderstandings in the whole LGBTQ movement and
Yeah.
transgender movements, where you are pushing a certain narrative and wanting people to always agree with what you are saying. No, there will be people who will agree and there will be people who will
Yeah.
disagree. But it also is because of the perspective or where they are looking at it from.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, people can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
People can be whoever they want. But
Yeah.
once we start, once we start getting away
Creating
from,
sites.
yes, creating the sites, this is bad.
Don't create
This is
sites.
good.
Yeah.
Don't
There
create
are no
sites.
sites, right?
You know what? Because
No.
you can't tell me as a person who feels this way. I feel this way. You can't
Yeah.
tell me that no, you don't feel that way.
Like,
It's impossible. You know, you can't tell
yeah.
me that because I feel this way, it's bad. No. Okay, fine. Yes,
No.
it may affect me negatively. And
Mm.
these are the things that maybe we don't really go deeper into. Okay, fine. When something affects you negatively, why does it affect you negatively? Like,
Mm.
why is it bad? Why do I feel this way? Is it because I'm told that I need to be like this? Or is it because that I feel I want to be like this? Or is it this is
Yeah.
me? You know? And again,
Mm-hmm.
that's where things start becoming amiss.
A
When
little
people start
murky.
to think this is bad, this
Mm.
is good, this is,
No.
it's
There's
relative.
no sides.
It's relative. We like, it's
Straight line.
darkness and light. There can be no light without darkness, you know?
Uh-uh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, if
Yes
we,
or no?
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
so, and that's what I also just want to attribute to art, that it's
Mm.
allowed me to think like that, to be able
Mm.
to say, you know what, there are things that don't work for me but may
Yeah.
work for someone else,
Yeah.
and I should be okay with that, you
Yeah.
know. And again, I love the point that you brought forward, that once it starts affecting children,
Yeah.
we
Because they don't know, man.
yes,
They don't
and
know.
and more than anything, there are things that children should not be exposed to, and there's things that children have no, they can't even conceive in their heads. There's things that they don't even know exist, that they shouldn't know exist during
No,
their time.
no.
Yeah, and again, with getting,
Just protecting their little beautiful minds
and
before all this chaos hits them.
again, risking being cancelled, I will say, a child can never be able to tell you that what their sexual preference is. A child is a child. A child has no sexual
Yeah.
preference. A child
The
is a
only
child.
restrictions that they receive are from us,
Exactly. Even
the
in terms of
ones
their
who put
gender.
restrictions on them. And they don't even, they come out as we spoke like the last time. They come
Yeah.
out in here and they're like, oh, cool, fun place.
Cool.
Until you
Whatever.
say, oh, be afraid of this. Oh, be afraid of this because you're afraid of it.
And as a child, you were allowed to be whatever you want. There was never being a girl child, being a boy child. Yes, there are ways. There are there is a situation of yes, they are treated differently, but organically, children are just children, and
Yeah,
these things that they don't even have thoughts about, that they could
you're
never even
right,
conceive or think of,
right.
and for
Mm.
something to put a child through a process that will change them for the rest of their life
Fundamentally, right.
fundamentally,
Mm.
that's when I feel like yes, we do need to protect children.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like that's something that we are not doing as a society. And more than anything,
yeah.
we're not even protecting human beings
Yeah,
that
do
are
we
like
even know how though? You know what I mean? It's like since we went through that whole process ourselves,
yeah,
how do we better equip the upcoming? Are we gonna do the same things? Are we gonna take them through the same, loopholes and all over the place and fears and anxieties and stuff like that? How are we creating a better experience for the upcoming type of thing?
I have my
That's what
own
it's like, okay,
opinion on
fine. We
that.
see all that's another, we have, it's
Yeah,
like a
you
together
know,
thing. It's not
yes,
like it's a together thing, yet individual process.
exactly,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? We are
And
out here, we all see what the little glitches are.
yeah,
How do we just change one thing
mm,
by yourself?
mm.
I think just having one thing shift in your experience, it will help shift the whole thing
And
for
deep down
everyone.
inside, yeah, deep down inside,
Right.
we all know
We
what we
know.
need to do. And this is the scariest thing about human nature.
Yeah.
We all know what's right for the collective.
Yeah.
We all know,
At this point,
yes, we, we,
damn
we
it, we
all
know.
know, yes, and we all know how we could resolve all the
Right.
problems that we're
Yeah.
facing as a
Yeah.
collective. But the fact that we are not willing to,
Yeah.
that's what scares me.
Hmm.
Because it's like
Willing.
knowing, and because it is a conscious thing that you have to decide, as you said,
Yes.
as a collective, but also individually. We
It
all know,
starts with, yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
individually,
Yeah.
what the world could look like if
Yeah.
everything was peaceful, and
I'm like getting goosebumps right now.
from knowing that
Yeah.
and being able to see what a collective, a united world would look like, it means that we do know how to get there.
Yeah.
It means that we do know what we need to do to get there.
Hmm.
And we all, deep down, know what we need to
We
do.
know. We know.
Collectively, we know that. And
Right.
I mean, Michael Jackson sang about it, heal the world.
Long
And
time ago. A
and then he
long
came
time.
and
Yeah.
then he came back and sang, all I wanna say is that they don't really
I don't
care
really
about
care
us.
about
You know,
Earth.
and it's a duality. It's literally a duality because again, as a collective and also as an individual.
Yeah.
It's the same. We don't care about others as much as we don't
Mm.
care about ourselves. And it's
Wow.
reflected in
Wow.
that we
Yeah.
know how we can attain peace and attain unity, but we
Mm.
don't do it.
Wow. Then
I
that's
just
deep, man. If it's, yeah, that's deep though, in a sense that we know, but how do we pivot from that knowing? I'm sure we have the skills, or maybe are too afraid to use them.
it's in decision making, because once
Mm.
you decide you are gonna go and behave in the way that you want the world to behave towards you, it means you
You
have to
need to
follow
take the
through with it.
steps.
Yes, you
Mm.
need to take the necessary steps, and it's easier for us to just fall back.
Mm.
And in that
Because that's
falling
normal
back,
to fall back.
and
It's
unfortunately,
easiest.
yeah, yeah, and that falling back reflects how much we really don't care about ourselves
Wow.
or
Yeah.
care about everyone else around us, because there's things that we could be
Mm.
doing as a collective and individually that could definitely change the whole planet,
Yeah.
completely change everybody's lives. But
Yeah.
instead, we don't. Instead, we continue because, and it's a double-edged sword, even for the people.
On this
Yeah,
brokenness. Mhm.
yeah, and even the people who have the power to say, they too, the fact that they have the power to change the world for the better, but choose not to,
Not to
just is a reflection of the lack of self-love and a love for the collective.
self-love, or even the fact that for those who do have the power to, or are winning on this current experience, winning, are not um you know sweating it because they're already winning. So it's not like not winning like it's some sort of like competition or whatever, but in the sense that, oh, everything's like not hurting, but then deep down it's like, no, it's not even like a winning thing, because there is still hurt, there is still trauma. There's no true happiness or fulfillment or satisfaction in your current experience, otherwise it would reflect,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's a matter of, everyone, it's just like a whole like equal type of 0 point experience that I think would be best. And then we
You
really see,
know,
oh, there's this one quote, is like um what was it? Damn it. It was a real good one. It's about when the tide pulls back, you'll see who's swimming naked.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a fun one. I don't
I
remember
think I
the
get
full.
it.
I think I'm just paraphrasing. It's like when the tide pulls back, you'll see who's swimming naked.
I think I
Yeah,
sort of get
something
it.
like this. Yeah.
I think I
So I
get it.
mean, I mean, as you said, like teamwork makes the dream work. Let's just do this.